All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second annual Bounce Back Conference. I am so happy to be here. I am Sabriya Dobbins, and I am your host representing Project Passport for this amazing conference event that is now being streamed live. So feel free to hop on Dr. Stem's page and to share it onto your pages. We are now live on Facebook for this amazing event because we want to get it out to the community, and it's being recorded in order for a great recap for those who need access to this amazing event and who want to see what they missed if they're not able to join us today. I would like to thank all of you for joining, and I'm going to kick this thing off with Dr. Stem. Dr. Stem is the founder of the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference, and she's a native of Zimbabwe, she has called the U.S. home for the past 30 years. Her passion is to empower, encourage, and to motivate and inspire others, and to build confidence for those to live their best life stress-free. How many of y'all are trying to live stress-free? Y'all know what I'm talking about. We need it right now during the pandemic. During this COVID-19 pandemic, she found that many people were struggling to this new way of living and working, which caused a lot of stress and anxiety. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This pandemic got us all discombobulated. And so to help her support and encourage her to bounce back, she started the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference to uplift, encourage, and to just inspire people to live on and to not lose hope. So here is Dr. Stem. Let's welcome you to open up this year's conference. Woo!
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I apologize. I have been really sick and I didn't have my voice. But you know what? As I say today, I posted a video that I said, in my language, we say the devil is a liar. How many of you, when you have had, when you're planning something big and something big is about to happen, right? That everything just seems to just go wrong. And for my presenters out there that, have done presentations where you use PowerPoint, it's that time where the PowerPoint doesn't work. Things just don't work out. But then here's the thing. I want to encourage all of you that will be participating today, and those of you that are live stream, watching this from wherever you are around the world, to never give up. Because it is in that time when things seem to be falling apart that everything is working out and everything is supposed to happen. I have seen some people that give up and they would have laid down and said, you know what, my throat is sore, I don't have a voice, I can't do this, but don't do that. Keep up and get up and do it anyway. I will deal with the sore throat way after this, because my excitement, I can't tell you how excited I am and so grateful for all of these ladies that are here today and those that will watch this afterwards. First of all, I want to say thank you to Project Passport. Last year, for those of you that were here last year, I was doing everything. I was facilitating, I was speaking, I was doing everything, because then I didn't want it to stop because I didn't have anyone else that knew better than I do, because I'm not a coordinator. I'm not, one that knows how to put this together. So this year, Project Passport, with their founder and leader, Sabriya Dobbins, decided to sponsor us and be a corporate sponsor for this conference, because they believe in what we are doing. They believe in empowering and encouraging women especially, and they are, a wellness champion. They do more wellness, seminars, and they will do more of that stuff today. So I can't wait either, because I'll be participating too for the first time. But this is what they are there for, to help you if you're one of those companies, organizations, or women that want to do a seminar, a conference, an empowerment, and you're like, you know what, I don't know how to put this together here. Sabriya and Project Passport, that's your go-to person. That's your go-to company. And I want to encourage you to do that. I also want to thank all the speakers that are here today, because guess what? They have been working tirelessly to bring you the empowerment, encouragement, and mostly education, so that you have more information what I love about doing these things, right, is I learn something from every woman, from every participant, from anybody that asks a question or anybody that speaks on this. I'm learning something every day. But mostly, I'm excited for every woman, man, and anybody that, come to this, that they get to have something and get equipped with something new. So guess what? They go out of here today and go, you know what? I never thought that I could do that. I didn't know about A, B, and C. So those of you that have worked with me know that I am a number one championship, for writing. Please get your notebook and also get some color pencils because we're going to do some play. Oh, check you out, Sabriya. See you go. There you go. Get your color pencils because we're going to be doing some play as well. We have Astrid, who is in Alaska, that's going to be doing some play with us. But each speaker will have something new that will help you or equip you to get into 2022 and beyond with confidence, but with a whole new awareness. This is a new time for us. It's a time for women. Everywhere I looked in this 2021, I can't tell you enough. I saw women being so courageous, going out of their comfort zones and doing things that they never thought that they could do. Some of them knew that they could do it, but they didn't have the courage to do it. And I saw women getting out of their shells and being on social media, having businesses, attending conferences, attending workshops. I have trained so many women this year, as well as a men, because I'm also a corporate wellness trainer. So in those trainings, I would ask questions about people that have done something else outside of their comfort zone this 2021. I'm very excited to say there were more women that came out and said, I have done something that is more courageous this year than I ever could think of. And just looking at the audience, I'm seeing one of the ladies that I know published a book, Miss Anita Jones, that's there. And, if I didn't mention you, I probably can't see your name in there, but I know her because I saw her coming out and publishing this book that, she said, well, I never thought I could publish a book. And she's working on a second one now, and she's doing workshops and everything now. That's what I am hoping and praying for every one of you to come back next year and give testimonials that, look, this is what I have been able to do. So with Sabriya coordinating it, when we have time, if we have time, because some of the presentations might not take as much time, if we have time and any of you want to do testimonials, please just raise your hand and say, Sabriya, can I just tell the people what I did this year? Because you're not bragging, but what you are doing is actually encouraging and instilling in all of us and all those other ones that will be listening to say, oh, okay, I guess I can do it too. If she did it, I can do it too. So I love this platform because we don't come here to brag. We come here to encourage each other, to empower each other, and mostly to inspire each other to get out of our shell and thrive. There is room and space for all of us to do either the same thing, but whatever is in your heart. I am hoping that you will have the confidence and you'll have information enough from today that will encourage you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Let me tell you something. Discouragement really gets in the way of you being yourself. And what we are talking about today is you thriving. It's your time, and our first guest is going to be talking about that. It's our time. Many of you have asked me, how do I get to do my business online? How do I get to sell online? What do I do about this? Every speaker has something that they're going to talk about that is going to equip you to get out of any doubt or any misinformation or no information, because you will have enough information to get you started. I call this the jumpstart moment. We're going to jumpstart you, and the rest is all up to you. So with that said, I will see you at the end of this. I'm just as excited, so I don't want to take too much time. I'm going to give it back to Miss Sabriya. Hey.
Yes, woo, woo, Dr. Stem. Let's give her a hand. I love it when Dr. Stem talks. It just, everything she says just makes me feel so encouraged. I'm just more excited to take on life. I see amazing testimonies in the chat already about saying yes, Astrid saying yes to her dream home and not knowing how to make it happen. I mean, it's the best feeling in the world when you really take the time to manifest and take the time to work towards building your dreams. So proud to hear that. And I'm going to go ahead and get our first presenter lined up and ready to roll. So with that being said, I would like to welcome the amazing Olu. So Olu is a business coach in business fundamentals, and she's a 2 times, not 1 time, but 2 times #1 international best-selling author, a launch strategist, and a Kajabi expert. She works with service professionals to create a strong brand for presence online using funnels and automation for digital courses, membership sites, website sales pages. The girl's amazing. Lead magnets and all geared to help people make bank while they sleep. I like to call that Z money. So without further ado, I want to welcome Miss Olu.
Thank you so much, Sabriya. What an introduction. A year ago, that would have been impossible. And I wasn't at Dr. Stem's program, but I did meet her this year. And, immediately I was able to see that this is somebody who is very committed, very dedicated, and she's so passionate about what she does. So I had the opportunity to work with her and, help her put her website up and her membership site. And it was amazing. I thought I was driven, but when I saw the content that Dr. Stem has, I was like, whoa, this woman is something else. And she's so humble with everything she does. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really grateful to be here. I've already been introduced. And when Dr. Stem told me that she would like me to speak, I felt very honored because, like I said, this time last year would have been in my dreams, to even have an invitation like this. But maybe a little bit more about myself so that you can have an understanding. I told her, I said, I don't have any business topic to teach, but I think I'd like to share a bit of my story in that 15 minutes or so, because I know there will be somebody out there who just needs to be encouraged to actually take the next step and know that there's actually an opportunity for every one of us to bounce back from whatever. So in 2015, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. That's where I'm from, and that's where I live. Some of the challenges I have with running an online business is power, because sometimes the electricity just goes out for no reason. So we have to depend on generators. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a talk like this and zap, I'm just gone, and everybody's waiting for me to come back. So it hasn't been easy because of some of the challenges of living in a developing country, but I was able to find my feet and not give up. And that's what I want to encourage us today, that regardless of whatever situation you find yourself, don't give up, because there's always an opportunity for you to bounce back, and it won't give you notice before it comes. The opportunity will just present itself, and if you're available, you're able to take it up. So in 2015, my husband and I, we put all our life savings in a business. It was a British school that we established in my country, and it was going quite good for about 18 months. We had consultants. I could say I was the one who lost the family money, because my husband had said to me, he said, you don't know so much about this industry. And I said, oh, don't worry, we will get consultants, we will get people who will work with us. I just want to do it. And 18 months later, everything was down the drain. We were homeless. We had no savings. Our children were in private school. We had to, if not for a relationship with some of the school owners that would give us some time to pay, it was really difficult. But I decided to go online and start looking for what to do. And that was how I found myself running a fashion store. We made some good money from there, started with a loan. And then I found the passion to actually start designing things, websites. I was doing it for my school. I never hired that part out, so I started to develop it. And then I found a platform called Kajabi. And, the rest is history, as they say. But, I want to say that regardless of what you are passing through, regardless of what you've passed through, you can always rise, again. But it takes courage, because it's very easy for us to give up along the line. It's very easy to say, oh, I can't do this anymore. I remember the times when some of us have never even heard of the Infinix phone. That was what I was using online then. And it was cracked. I didn't have a ring light. I didn't have so much bright light around me. And I would just sit in meetings with my small phone. And, they'll say, hey, we can't see you, Fumi. And I'll be like, oh, I'm here. But today that's history, because I never gave up. I'm not saying it was easy. I didn't have so much encouragement apart from my husband. But then, in fact, I was afraid to speak up because I felt my accent was funny. I was like, who is going to understand what I'm saying? Until, I was able to hire a coach. And she said to me, are you speaking Greek to people who speak English? You are speaking English. I hear you. We all hear you. Why are you having these, mindset issues? And that was when I knew the power of the mind. The mind is so powerful, and what you feed it is what you can get out of it. So if you tell yourself, oh, this cannot happen, your mind will register that it can't happen, and you won't take any step to make it happen. So that's a brief story of where I'm coming from. And I also want to encourage those who haven't even started their business or who are still at the infancy stage. It just starts with one step. It starts with you being bold. And that's why I keep going back to courage. You just go back to call up that courage inside of you. You are somebody special. Somebody somewhere in the world needs your expertise. That is the truth. No matter what level you think something that comes easily to you, somebody else is finding it so difficult. And, they are willing to pay you good money for you to take that burden off them. But if you don't even mention what you say, if you don't show up, if you don't talk about the fact that this is what I do, they can never find you. I used to sit and imagine that they would, once I put it in my bio and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, people would just flock to me. But then I quickly realized, no, it doesn't work that way. I also thought, okay, if I build a website, if I put it in many groups, if I let people know this is what I'm doing, but I assure you that it does not work. It all starts with yourself. It starts with how you believe, what you believe, and that first step. That cannot be overemphasized. And whatever skills you have, I discovered that when people say they have imposter syndrome, it's likely because they are not so sure of, their skills, their level of being able to take ownership of that skill. So I encourage you, if you have a skill, if you are feeling unsure, why not get some training in that area? Research into it. Google is your friend. Those were my best friends, by the way. Google, YouTube, those were my besties, because I couldn't even afford to pay a coach. But, it has to come from within. Okay, somebody likes the music. So it has to come from within. We really have to be bold. The world actually needs us. Our children need us to see us stepping up so that they can take after us. A lot of women are looking up to us. They want to say, you've heard a bit of my story. I'm sure you would look at it and say, hey, if she can do it, then I definitely can do it. I never considered myself a speaker. From when I was even afraid for people to hear my voice. But there I was invited to speak I just got a random mail towards the end of the year, and they invited me to speak at an event. And I was like, did you mean me? I wrote back to her. I said, did you check the email address well? Because I'm not so sure. I haven't spoken to anyone. She said, yeah, you. I saw you in the Kajabi group. And I was like, okay. And that was how it all just began. I almost gave up, by the way, in September last year, because I found it very difficult to be paid. It was really difficult because, the banking system here, the payment gateways and all of that. So my husband said to me, he said, look, if you really want to do this, I think you should open up a company in the US I had an opportunity when I visited some years ago, but my friend was working in Wells Fargo and she told me, I said, no, I don't need it, because I never even knew I would be an entrepreneur online. So I had to find my way and just make sure it was registered. And the week the documentation was coming, and probably this is the last, and I guess my time is almost up, a lady had reached out to me, and we had a call about an hour long. A few days later, she said, okay, can we start mapping things out and discuss pricing? I gave her a very low price, because I really want, usually when you pay me, the payment gateway fails. And so you have to still call your bank to credit me or something. So I said to her, I said, oh, by the way, I'm expecting my documentations for my company, so I should be able to open an account in about a week. So if you try this payment gateway and it fails, don't bother, we'll wait for that week. We'll continue with your work, and then we'll wait for the bank papers to be ready. And she said, okay. But she went immediately and tried to make the payment, and it failed. And then she sent me a message and said, I think you are a scam. My husband thinks you are a scam. By the way, we are watching you. We have all your information. If anything goes wrong, I've called the bank, I've done this. And I was weak, because it was like the beginning of my business. And here was the largest discouragement I've ever had. I wept all day. I wept all night. I went on my page and I said, all the years I've spent online, I've never been this destabilized. And my friends came out. I call them my friends now, because we all met online, but somehow we've been able to form that connection, and they all came out and said they would like to meet her. I said, no, I don't even want to have anything to do with her. But by the time I woke up the next day, because I told my husband when I was going to bed, I said, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. It doesn't matter to me anymore, because this is the highest level of, disgrace that I have ever received in my entire life. And he said to me, you mean all you've worked for is going down the drain? So what are you teaching your daughters? But I went to bed, and when I woke up, I just decided, I said, okay, I think it's because I'm not owning my power. I'm not stepping up. And it was like a new person. My papers came in a few days later. I opened up my membership. The first person who would take that membership was a lady, or is a lady, in the UK. And, when she said, where are you from? I told her, and she was like, oh my God, are you from this tribe in Nigeria? And I was like, yes. She said, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm a teacher. I have many Nigerians here with me, and they are such wonderful people. And I was elated. And at that time in her business in Kajabi, she had made about £1,000 or so. And we worked together. We're still working together. And by July, she was doing her taxes, and her accountant sent her some documentation, and she sent it to me. She said, Fumi, can you believe this? And when I checked it, she had made over £120,000, all from the funnels that I made for her. But because people were paying offline, there was no way to keep track of it. And she was blown away. I was blown away. And she said to me, send me your PayPal account. This cannot go uncelebrated. And we are still the best of friends today. So if I didn't, if I woke up still feeling the same and I had given up, her business would probably have been struggling, because she had tried different people and she just couldn't find a headway. So I hope this encourages somebody. I hope you would never give up. And I have something I wrote that I'll just like to read in conclusion. And it says, don't care who is doing better than you, because you are doing better than you were last year. It is you against you, not you against any other person. So stay committed, stay present, stay full, and this is your time to shine. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Miss Olu, like our hearts are screaming here. We are just so, thank you so much for sharing your story, your inspiration. from feeling like you're nothing to feeling like everything is the most beautiful journey to watch. And it just, your bounce back story should remind women that we often all find ourselves in that dark tunnel, not sure where to turn, not sure where to go, but it just takes those right hands to reach out. Everybody thinks it's about the numbers, but it's about the quality. It's about the right people to give you a helping hand and support you. So thank you, Olu, for sharing this inspiring story. And I am just more excited now to continue this event. And so as we hop over, I want to introduce the amazing Gillian Pritchett. She is focusing on the importance of business resilience, and she provides her audience and clients with smart ways to embed this into their business. She's a UK chartered accountant, business strategist, and creative marketer, and she has integrated so many of her years of international business expertise into corporate and consulting in one package: business resiliency, which I know a lot of us in business are like, I need all the resilience I can get. Trust me, we all need all the resilience we can get with this pandemic, because there's so many things left and right throwing us off track, right? She's passionate about helping other entrepreneurs start and grow sustainable, resilient businesses. Over the past few years, she's developed programs for startups, established business owners, in which she's delivered things to places like McGill University in Montreal. And she's also been adjunct faculty for MBA programs at HEC Montreal, the University of Economics in Prague, the Hague University of Applied Sciences, and teaches venture creation and marketing. It's a whole mouthful because there's so many amazing things, and marketing courses in summer schools all across Europe. Without further ado, I want to welcome the amazing, the beautiful Gillian Pritchett. Oh, Gillian, let me get you off mute here. There we go.
So thank you very much indeed for the introduction. You made it sound really lively and energetic. So much better than when I deliver it for myself. I'd like to start actually, before I get into my presentation, by congratulating Olu on sharing and also endorsing every single word she said, because I'm sitting here thinking, yep, I get it. Yep, she's absolutely right. I'm not going to tell you about my bounce backs, but trust me, I've had to bounce back from a couple of redundancies, one in the UK, one in Canada, and then from being a caregiver for my mum. So while I talk about business resilience, it's not that I've had the sort of perfect life and the perfect career and the perfect everything, and I just kind of got into it and everything's been perfect. There's been a lot of bouncing back, a lot of reinvention there. And I bring all of that to bear on what I help my clients with. So if you could just give me a couple of minutes while I pull up my PowerPoint presentation. I need to screen share, because unlike Olu, I'm actually going to use a PowerPoint and share some, I hope, helpful content with you. So, simple steps to business resilience. It doesn't have to be hard work to get resilience in business. It just takes, as Ola has already said, the right mindset. You can sit back and say, well, I can't be resilient, or you can decide you're going to be resilient. And I'm just going to share a few hints and tips with you. So, yeah, I help businesses survive economic downturns and crises by becoming agile, innovative, and having diversified sources of income, solid financial base, consistent interactions with clients, and a regularly updated crisis plan. So if you like, those are the key components, the main components of getting business resilience. So how are we going to define it? And I think it's important to define it, because a lot of people think business resilience is crisis management, risk management, or cybersecurity, or coming up with some great ideas when COVID makes you close the doors and do something different. But it's all of those things and a lot more besides. There's a lot of definitions out there. I like these two. So organizational resilience, as identified, if you like, by this ISO, organizational resilience is the ability of an organization to absorb and adapt in a changing environment to enable it to deliver its objectives and to survive and prosper. More resilient organizations can anticipate and respond to threats and opportunities that arise from sudden or gradual changes in their internal and external context. So it's not just about the outside world, it's what's happening in your organization as well. And enhancing resilience can be a strategic organizational goal, and it's the outcome of good business practice and effectively managing risk. In other words, it needs to be embedded in your organization and in the culture of the organization. And in the UK, we have the Business Standards Institute. They pick up on some of those same points, but add some extra ones. So again, it's the ability of an organization to anticipate, prepare for, respond, and adapt to incremental change, but also to sudden disruptions, again, in order to survive and prosper. But it reaches beyond risk management towards a more holistic view of business health and success. And a resilient organization doesn't just survive, it flourishes, it passes the test of time. And crucially, it's not a one-off exercise, but it's achieved over time and for the long term. So it needs to be embedded, it needs to be monitored, it needs to be tweaked, it needs to be nurtured. So how are we going to get business resilience? So first of all, monitor your external environment. What's going on out there? What are the opportunities and threats? Plan for impacts that some crises could have on your business, whether it's cybersecurity, a key member of staff going on long-term sick. What would you do if? And we'll look at these in a little bit more detail as we go. You need the right business structure, leadership and staff, and the right mindsets. You need to be agile and innovative and build it into your culture, because then it's much easier to adapt to a crisis, much easier to pivot your business if you need to. And we've heard about pivoting from Olu today, so I think she can bear witness to the need to be able to do that. Have a lean operation and make good use of technology. Don't use technology for the sake of it. Use it because you need to, because it adds value to your business. Have diversified sources of income. You need a detailed knowledge of your customers and target clients. Have strong support systems locally and even in virtual business communities. Have appropriate and timely communications, both internally and externally. A robust supply chain if you're a product-based business. Appropriate insurance and legal agreements. And strong financial management. It's last, but it's by no means least. So I know I haven't got loads of time to talk to you about all of these things. So I'm going to give you, so fasten seatbelts, and we'll take off and look at some of these in a little bit more detail. So we're going to scan the environment, what's happening, but what's likely to happen. And what would the consequences be for our business? Anticipate changes, anticipate the threats and opportunities. This isn't a one-off exercise for a business plan when you did your MBA and that's it. This is something that you need to be tuned into. If you're in a certain sector, your antennae need to be tuned into what's happening that could impact that sector. Discern trends. Trends could bring something negative, it could bring something positive. Identify gaps in the market. Could you exploit those? And if you have studied business, remember PESTEL, an acronym for political, economic, socio-demographic, technological, economic, and legal. If you look at these aspects of the external environment, you'll have covered pretty much everything. How are we going to prepare for our crises? What might happen? We can do some scenario planning, some what ifs. The wackier, the better, because you never know what's going to happen, because we didn't see 9/11 coming, and I don't think we saw COVID coming. And I'm sure there's other things out there like volcanic eruptions and all sorts of things that have disrupted business. A ship getting stuck sideways in the Suez Canal. Did we think of that one? So the wackier, the better, in my opinion. And what would you do if it did happen? Could you avert it? Could you stop it from happening? Or could you avoid it actually impacting your business? And if not, how would you mitigate it? Have a plan. Who is involved? What needs to be done? If it's cybersecurity, we need the IT guy on the case rather than the marketing manager. But if it's something else in your business, supply chain, you need the procurement person involved. Who needs to be involved? What needs to be done? And develop resilient leaders, people that have the right mindset, that don't sit there in absolute fear and terror like a rabbit staring into the headlights. Nor do you want someone that turns tail and runs away. You want someone that says, right, okay, I'm getting on with this. This is what we need to do. And all of this involves your staff, even your suppliers, even maybe your clients. Work together on it. Then you need to have an agile and innovative culture. Become a learning organization at all levels. Monitor the external environment, as I've already mentioned, because that will give you clues, that will give you things you can be creative with. Think outside the box. How could you pivot if you couldn't run your business as is? Here's some examples. Physiotherapist in London went online. That sounds obvious, but I can assure you the town I live in here, there's about 50 retail outlets with shops and cafes and things. And when everything closed down in March 2020, I took a walk up the town. And out of those 50 outlets, only 10 had actually put something in the window about how to keep in touch. Hairdressers, well, total silence. Well, you could be showing people by video how to trim a fringe, or bangs as you call them in North America. Now, this upmarket restaurant in London actually did become a bit more innovative. They did a veg box pickup on every Wednesday. We're an upmarket restaurant, but we're flogging your vegetable boxes on a Wednesday. We weren't fussy. We needed money to come in. We needed to keep visibility. But we also offered high-priced meal deliveries. I say we, they. They offered, this is really smart. I love this one. 20% off money, 20% money off vouchers for future dining. So you're locking people in for the future, helping a cash flow in the short term. The Turkish tour company, what did they get up to? Well, they offered virtual tours. They created a virtual membership program. One of the team offered Turkish cooking lessons. And here's the good one. They started selling homemade Turkish wooden products on Facebook. Why not? It's bringing money in, it's building that customer base, it's keeping them on board. And having diversified the income sources, one would hope that they would continue to do that, because you really don't want all your eggs in one basket. You need more than one client. And ideally, I would argue, have clients in more than one sector. If the retail sector goes, if it just has to close because of something like COVID, what are you going to do? Or the restaurant sector. You need some other things. And I would say, have an online offering as well as an offline. Be innovative. If you're a restaurant, do wine tasting. Send the bottles of wine around to people at home and do the wine tasting online. Why not? Even if your restaurant's closed, you've still got an income, you're still working with customers. And you need to know these people. You need to build strong relationships with the ones you've got, know their needs, their spending habits, because these will change in a crisis. So those people that would eat in your restaurant, maybe they're stuck at home, and some wine tasting would be a good idea. Know who your target clients are, what are their characteristics, their needs, their spending habits. Again, these will change in a crisis. You need to know these, otherwise, how can you communicate with them? How can you offer them what they need? How can you serve them? And know where to find them. Are they hanging out on Instagram? If it's a small town and people are not very computerized, do you need to put a big notice in the window of your shop or your hairdressing salon? Speak to them where they are, where they're likely to find you. So this is an example of what this hairdresser did. She started to create mini videos to show people how to trim their fringes. We call them fringes in England. I think you call them bangs in North America. But this is such a simple thing to do. And I'm sure she probably attracted clients that actually were not typically her clients. But because she'd reached out and was helpful, probably those people went to her when lockdown ended. Have strong support systems. And I'm sure all of you ladies will agree with me, networking is not about selling, it's building relationships. It doesn't matter if I never buy anything from you and you don't buy from me, but you might be there to, you know, you've got a problem with something, somebody knows somebody who can help you out with it. Have wise and trusted advisors, not the naysayers, but not the ones that, oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Those are not the ones you want. Have the ones that will support you and say, oh, I'm not so sure about the idea, but hey, let's give it a whirl and see what happens. Or like Olu's husband that was saying, you know, no, you can't give up. You can't let it all go. Give it a shot. See what happens. Build excellent relationships with your suppliers. And that's really crucial in my view if you have a product-based business. And you know what? Even competitors can help out in a time of crisis. And I have examples of that. So I can assure you that that actually can happen. Communicate, communicate, and communicate, and communicate even more, internally and externally. Keep your staff informed, keep suppliers informed, let your customers know, your target clients, the media, the world outside. But these need to be timely, relevant, and appropriate communications. Always protect your reputation. In a crisis, don't keep silent. If you've done something wrong, say. If you've got a great idea, say. If there's a problem that you can't deliver on something, speak up. People respect you for that, and that maintains your reputation. Keep your staff on side, talk to them too. And as I say, keep communicating with customers and target clients. have robust supply chains, have a diversity of suppliers, anticipate issues. I mentioned the ship that was stuck sideways in the Suez Canal. It's a really good, more recent example. Build good relationships. Insurance, I'm not going to read all of these out to you, but they're just, and if anybody does want my PowerPoint pack, I'm very happy if you write to Dr. Stem to then share it with you so that you can look at it later. But these are just some insurances that people don't even think about. Sometimes people don't even know that they exist, but make sure you are adequately insured and get those legal agreements out there. Have that force majeure clause so that if there was a major crisis and you couldn't deliver, then you're kind of off the hook on that contract. And these are ones that I'm sure you think about, but have you actually done it? Mea culpa, I haven't done all of these myself, but we need to, and that will make your business far more resilient. And finally, financial control. It's last, but it's by no means least, because if you don't have financial control, if you don't have good financial management, you can have all the other things and your business can still go down the pan, because you need to control your cost base. You need to manage income, get your pricing set right, invoice promptly, and don't be shy about getting paid. You've done the work, you deserve to be paid. Monitor the cash flow. If you've got negative cash flow, you are in deep trouble. Keep up-to-date records. You need to know where you are at all times in your business. Are you making a profit or not? Have you got cash flow issues? If you don't keep records, you don't know these things. Have a cash reserve. People say 3 months. I think ideally I'd go for 6 months. It may be hard to achieve, but I think it's important to have that cushion there that you can keep going in a crisis. And if a crisis does happen, cut early, cut hard, look after the cash. And remember, monitor your external environment, plan for the impacts, have the right structure, leadership and staff, be agile, be innovative in your company culture, have lean operations, use your technology wisely, have diversified income sources, detailed knowledge of customers and target clients, strong support systems, appropriate and timely communications, internal and external, robust supply chains, insurance and legal, and what was the last one? Yes, financial management. Oof. It was short. It was fast. I hope it gave you some useful insights.
Thank you so much, Gillian, for such an important presentation, so practical in a time where we don't know what's coming, right? We don't know what's happening, and we have to have our logistics in order. There's a lot of big issues in the world where people are going off of intuition alone, but we can't go off of intuition alone. We have to be able to have the logistical piece in business. So thank you, Gillian, so much for sharing and for providing such insight. And we are already ready to flow into a movement break. So after such great meaty information, it's time to take a yoga break. And I'm so excited to introduce someone that I adore and love, because she is one of the Project Passport staff members, Miss Thea, and she will be leading us on an exciting yoga flow experience as we wrap up our first part of presentations and move into the more movement body portion of this experience. Because as we know, wellness, bouncing back, all that stuff is all parts of us, mind, body, and spirit. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Thea. Get comfortable and let's get moving.
Hey guys. All right. So make sure you guys can all see me here. So we'll start on our chairs. If you'd like to move to the floor, you're welcome to do that as well. But we'll just start with easy sitting. Close your eyes and start to take a few deep breaths. Take this time to calm the mind, quiet the body. Take a nice deep inhale for 4. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. I invite you to open your eyes. Roll the shoulders back. Open up the chest. Send the palms towards the front. Inhale, lift. Exhale over to the right side. You can hold the fingertips or allow the body to flow either way. Inhale up. Raising the seat tall, wiggling the fingertips at the top, getting long in the spine. Exhale over other side. Inhale back up. Exhale, press down with the arms. Nice deep breath here. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, bring the right arm behind, either grabbing the back of your chair, bring the left hand to the knee, and take a little twist here. So gazing over the right shoulder. Not pressing too hard, but using your exhales to get a little deeper in that twist. And exhale, unwind. Inhale, lift the arms up. Getting long in the spine, feeling that separation in the rib cage. Exhale, bring the left arm over, right arm comes down to the knee. Press the chest open, using your back of your chair to get a little deeper on the exhales. One more breath here. And exhale, release. You can either turn sideways on your chair, or I will so you can see me, but come to the edge of your seat. So right to the edge. So you can straighten the legs out in front of you. You can either keep your heels planted on the floor, or if it feels better to go your whole foot flat on the ground. Inhale up. Keeping a flat back here, so it's okay if you don't go all the way down. Just go to where you still feel flat, and then you can bring the arms down. So feeling a little tension in the legs, keeping the back straight, taking a nice big inhale here. And you can exhale, round the spine to come down, reaching for the toes. Taking one more breath here. Exhale, slowly walk the fingertips up, straightening the back. Bending the knees, we'll come to standing. So inhale, lift. Exhale, take a little mini back bend here, just leaning back a slight bit. Inhale up, exhale, arms come down. Lace the fingertips behind the back. Press the chest open. Feel free to drop the head back if it feels good. Exhale, release. Roll the shoulders back. Give yourself a little shake out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little yoga moment here. Give yourselves a little break and a little movement.
Yes. Y'all, I think I'm at the spa. I don't want to stop. Thank you so much, Thea, for providing that yoga break. I see lots of claps. Lots of people are clapping. They're feeling it. Oh, how y'all feeling? Unmute. Tell me how y'all feeling. Y'all feeling relaxed? Let me hear
I feel I want to hire her to do that for me every 30 minutes when I'm walking.
We can do that.
I love
Okay.
it. I love it. Yes, yes, definitely. I will be putting Thea's contact information in the chat for anyone who wants to reach out to her. She is amazing at what she does. That's why she does our yoga moments at Project Passport all the time. And she does all kinds of these things like trapeze yoga and all, like she's certified across the board. She's amazing. So thank you again, Thea, so much for an amazing yoga moment. And we are not done with movement conversations just yet because we are turning it over to the amazing, amazing Danika. So let me tell you a little something about Danika. Yes, and I'm so glad she could join us. I know she's been a little unwell these days, so let's send her some love. Let's send her some positive energies. I'm just so happy that she's here and she's made it because she didn't have to be. So thank you, Danika. So Danika, oh my gosh, Danika's been teaching fitness for over 25 years and she's felt passionate about helping others improving their core strength, their muscle balance, flexibility, and just overall cardiovascular muscular strength with a functional fitness. She teaches Pilates, yoga, cycle, and works with individuals and groups in all populations and fitness levels. She also specializes in working with clients pre and post surgery, pre and postnatal, back injuries, post injury, muscle imbalances, scoliosis. So these are all things that so many people that we know and love may be facing, or we may be facing ourselves. She believes it's never too late to start over. And the more we understand about our own body and mind, the better we feel. So without further ado, I want to present the beautiful and amazing Danika.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So I am really bad at time, so I'm going to start my timer to make sure I don't go over. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name's Danika. I am in Mountain Standard Time. I'm in Arizona, so thank you for having me. And I know we have very limited time, so I did a lot of thinking, and I did not prepare anything to stare at on the computer. I feel like we do that already way too much. So I'm going to have us just get into our bodies while I talk, which is what I do for a living anyways. And today I thought about teaching what your body is doing in a chair and how you can prevent all of the muscle imbalances and back problems that happen sitting in a chair all day. And so Sabriya, I did send you a photo. I mean, if you're able to throw it on the page, great, because I'm a kinesthetic learner. I need to actually feel it to learn. So if you're a visual learner, here you go for you visual learners. But we're going to talk about core today, and we're going to talk about mindfulness while you're sitting in your chair or when you're not sitting in your chair, so that you can start to be very aware. We're really good at being aware when we're actually doing the exercise like we just did with our yoga. But as soon as we're done, we're like, okay, back to work, and everything turns off. And I want to get you to be doing it all of the time so that it becomes second nature. So when I'm teaching Pilates, I go over the really important elements of what core really is. And so everyone thinks core is your six pack, and it is not. Your six pack is really pretty, but it really doesn't have a whole lot of, kinesthetic and importance for sustainable core and sustainable fitness in the sense of functional fitness, which is being able to move for the rest of your life in a way that's safe and prevents injury. And so first of all, before I get into core, while we're sitting here, I want you to notice your sits bones. Those are the bony parts of your butt. And I want you to just start to notice them while I'm talking to you. So I'm going to have you start to dive into your body while I piece this apart, okay? So notice your sits bones, and between your two sits bones, which are, if you look at the skeleton, it's those bony points at the very bottom of his pelvis. You can see them. They're like little triangles, okay? And between them is your tailbone. Thank you for being my assistant. Is your tailbone, and that hangs between your sits bones. So just notice that right now, okay? So while I'm going over the core from bottom up, I'm going to have you feel it. Now, your pelvis tends to do one or two things. You either tuck it, which is posterior tilt, or you lift it, which is you stick your butt out, which is anterior tilt. So we usually do one. I'm an anterior tilter. So you need to be aware which one you're doing maybe right now, and kind of rock your pelvis forward and back, okay? Your hips, okay? And just maybe circle them. I changed my chair to a ball, but just notice that. Now, before I move up the core, I'm going to go over the spine movements. Your spine moves in 4 ways. So if you want to do this with me, you can. It goes forward into flexion. It goes open into extension. It goes side to side, which is lateral, and then it rotates, okay? And if you could guess, you can put this in the chat box. What is the strongest human movement right now that we have for our spine movement? Which one do you think is the strongest? That humans are, we got this. You can guess that while I go on. So moving out from the pelvis, we're going to go into the spine, which we just did, okay? And we're also going to talk about the transverse abdominis, which you can't see on there. It's a muscle, and it's like your corset. So if you want to put your hands around your waist, that is the part that is fired, that we call it, right? Or it's engaged when we are using our core correctly. And it is what protects our back, okay? I'm looking at your chats. So that is what you really want to have fire, and brings in the corset, like brings in everything around that midline to really fire. And this is not about being skinny. This is not about having muscles. And I need people to understand that this is not about being perfect or looking perfect. This is about firing the right muscles and using your body in a way that will help your spine move in all 4 directions and engage the right muscles and protect your back and allow you to have all of this movement for the rest of your life, okay? Now, the other part of the core that is really important that we don't talk enough about in fitness is your rib cage. Your rib cage has so much more importance than we give it credit for. And I want you to put your hands all the way around your rib cage, especially your bottom rib. That's the one that for some reason we don't connect to the most. And I have my philosophy on that, but we won't go into that. So go into the bottom rib and the very, very back, the very bottom rib. And when you're breathing, I want you to start thinking, I'm going to inhale all the way to my back bottom rib. So you can go ahead and try that right now. Just inhale. And if you can feel that bottom rib start to expand, you're inhaling correctly. So that's a good thing to practice even when you're sitting in your chair, to get into that bottom rib when you're inhaling. And then when you're exhaling, it's deflating, okay? It's contracting. Also, when you're sitting in your chair, the thing that the rib cage is really, really, it's very important in is rotation. So our yoga instructor just had us rotate, right? And a lot of people rotate without thinking of their rib cage. They just kind of rotate. Sometimes their shoulders elevate. We're going to go into that next. So basically, when you're rotating, you want to take that bottom rib and you want to push it down and around. So if you rotate and you think of that bottom, you can try it, push that bottom rib cage down and around, you'll feel a little bit more contraction in the transverse abdominis, which is that corset we just talked about. Now, earlier I asked which of the 4 spine directions do you think are the most prevalent in our society? And it's flexion. We're all so forward flex. Most of my clients come in with low lumbar issues, forward flexion, their shoulders are forward, their neck is forward. So one of the things that I work on is getting them that rotation really strong again. It actually prevents low back issues. And also their shoulders are highly elevated, and that's the next part of the core that we're going to go into. And so your shoulders, which are also the wings on the back of the skeleton, that's your scapula. And so when you're sitting in your chair or you're driving your car, or you're at home, it's having this awareness of where are my sits bones? Okay, I press those down, I relax my tailbone. I want to really feel my rib cage come up away from my hips. I want to push my pelvis down and have it nice and stable and not sticking my butt out or tucking my butt. And then your shoulders, which I call the wings. These are my favorite to talk about because our wings are so out of whack in our society. And it's the biggest problem for neck problems. It's the biggest issue for not using your core. It's the biggest issue for what we call protraction, which is shoulders rolling forward, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it just continues down the path. Now your shoulder blades, now if you can, I want you to either close your eyes or just mindfully feel them on your back. Now, the first thing I want you to do is squeeze your shoulder blades together, which in turn will make you stick your chest out. And I will tell you, and I'm going to be very real here, I have a lot of women who are uncomfortable doing that at first because we've been told that, you know, we have to be ashamed of this area. Wrong. So you have to stick your chest out to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Okay, and then pull your shoulder blades apart, all right, which is protraction, which is what we are, right? This is what we are, we're rolled forward, and then squeeze them back together. This is something that you should be doing all day long at sitting at a desk, is you should be mindfully really understanding that your shoulder blades need to come back and squeeze them together. Now lift them up and then put them down, and then lift them up and put them down. This is elevate and depress, okay? Depression. So one of the things we do when we're stressed is what we do this, right? We lift, 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 lift. The minute your shoulder blades are lifted, you cannot use your core. So if you're doing, let's say you're doing a workout or you're rotating or you're doing any kind of workout, if I'm like doing sit-ups and my shoulders are in my ears, guess what? You are not using core. So you have to bring your shoulders down, down, down. So when you're sitting in your chair, the things you can think about when you're in, you can rotate during the day is as I rotate, I push my shoulders down, I bring my lowest rib cage down and around. And if you do that and feel that, you will feel that transverse abdominis automatically contract. I can't see you guys. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the picture. So let's all try really quick. And then I'm going to go over the neck, which is the cervical spine, and I'll go over that last. Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's all try really quick all four directions of the spine using our core and see if we have any questions from there. So sitting nice and straight on your sits bones and really being mindful of your pelvis, being neutral, which is not, again, sticking out or tucking. And then this is not about sucking your stomach in. I can't tell you how many people think firing your core is pulling in your stomach. It is not. And I will go over later when we go over extension of the spine, why and how I can prove that that doesn't work. And then think about your rib cage as you're sitting here. I want you to knit your rib cage down to your hips. I want you to take your wings, your shoulder blades, and pull them back towards your spine and then down, okay? And then your cervical spine, your neck. Most of us do this a lot, so we want to try and pull our chin slightly down. And I always say like you have an oversized orange right here, okay? So not too much down, but if you're a lifter like me, you need to kind of pretend like you're holding something under your chin. And then what you want to do is, let's try a rotation. Actually, let's try the very easiest part first, which is flexion. So coming down, as you come down, so we're going to flex forward as if we're maybe tying our shoes. And you want to come down and you want to draw your shoulders down. Remember the scapula, lower your wings. Take that rib cage down in front, push it down, okay? And keep your pelvis stable. Don't tuck or lift it. So you might feel a little difference, might take practice. And then rotation, again, find the sits bones, rotate to one side. Don't let the shoulders lift, push them down and back. Take your lowest rib cage, push it down and pull it around. And then make sure your chin and your cervical spine are in line, okay? It might take practice. Taking that rib cage around your body is very different than just swinging your body around. Do you feel the difference, anybody? It takes practice. Laterally, again, we did this in yoga where you go side to side, okay? Again, lateral movements. So everyone take their left arm up. I was watching you, not because I'm judging you, but because it's my job. Half of you had your shoulder like this and you did this, okay? So I have to literally take my client's shoulder and push it down, and half of them can't take their shoulder down with the straight arm. So we bend our arm and then we laterally move from there, and we take the rib cage and we pull it up and over away from the hips. Do you see the difference? You don't have to answer me, it's okay. So when our shoulder is up in our ear and we go like this, we are no longer able to fire the core. So we want to bring the shoulder out of the ear, keep the shoulder out of the ear, and notice how I'm moving and the shoulder never lifts, okay? Just mindfulness, it's not going to happen overnight, okay? The most important part, oh, and I'm almost done. The most important part of training is extension. So when a surfer is laying on a surfboard, surfers have beautiful backs, by the way, if you haven't noticed. They're in extension the whole time. So if you lay on your stomach, which is prone, and you are lifting, right, that is extension of the spine. If I'm sitting here and I lift my heart, I'm extending my spine. Those are the weakest muscles for humans. Those are your erector spinae. So what I encourage everyone to do through the day when they're in their chairs, or like our yogi just showed us when we stood up and we interlaced our fingers behind us and we did kind of that back bend. I cannot stress enough how many times a day, if you're in your chair or you're driving, well, probably not while you're driving, you might crash, but to lift the heart, and remember to not lift the scapula, and lift the heart and do a slight back bend. Take your hands behind you like our yogi did and squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your heart, because those are the muscles that will help you get out of bed until you're 90. So I really encourage you to strengthen extension of the spine. You can Google exercises. I didn't give you a lot of stuff to look at because we have so much information on the internet. I just want you to be mindful when you're sitting in your chair and you're not in your chair, that all these movements are, trust me, as you get older and you want to keep a strong core and a strong spine, that is what will help you be sustainable. So thank you. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danika. Like literally, I see people in the chat that are like, body muscles that I've not moved or stretched in a while. Like, I mean, I feel it too. I mean, just the comfort and the relaxation that comes, those sensations. I think that everybody, I can see the bliss in their faces. So thank you so much for allowing us to gain this level of awareness. As the world has changed, many of us are at our desk more than ever before. And so it's so important to take care of our bodies. And Danika, you're reminding us to do that. So thank you. Let's give Danika some love. And all of our speakers so far have been so amazing today. And now you get to spend a chunk of time with me as our sponsor. And I'll be also presenting and other things. So with that being said, I'm going to allow for a quick commercial break. So this is the chance for you to go to the restroom, take a water, do what you need. This is your quick commercial break opportunity. And this will be a little bit of information about Project Passport and for you to just take a breather. So please do take this time to step away and take your commercial break here. Okay. It's a time for you to really open up with whatever you want to share in the moments that we go through the different topics, whatever comes to mind. There are no stupid questions. There are no stupid comments. There are no stupid thoughts. Everything you have to bring is enough today. Think about when you're in your roughest moment in life, what values do you lean on most? Are you carrying a stigma about your own generation that is causing you to hold yourself back? Are you carrying stigmas about other people and their generation that's impacting how you interact with them? What are some things that we can do to flip these negative stigmas to positive about these generations?
Fear sometimes is really subtle in us and we don't actually realize that it's dictating parts of our lives that it is. And this worksheet that I'm about to do with you is going to prove that.
Scientifically created. These are the 5 core areas to your life to live in an overall level of happiness and well-being. I want you to really think about these areas of your life right now. And I want to ask you, do you feel a general sense of positive emotion on your day-to-day? Honestly speaking.
What do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when you come to sit down for work? You know, do you want to feel more organized?
Well, we're going to be getting you out into some breakout groups of 4 people. And this is going to be your accountability pod. So even after the retreat, I want you guys to keep in touch. Start a WhatsApp.
All right. Thank you for taking part in our commercial break. I hope that was a good little break to allow you to grab a quick snack. I was shoving my face with an apple. Just a couple of things to get us through, right? We got to eat healthy to get us through the day. And I thank you for learning a little bit more about Project Passport. So now I'm actually going to be presenting today. And before I do that, I want to take a moment to allow you all to do a fun little activity. So when I think about the world right now and everything that we're going through, one of the most important things that I teach on my retreats through Project Passport is to always remember what your core values are. And so with that being said, I want to take a moment to ask you to go look around your house and find something that represents one of your core values. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what my values are. I don't know what is important to me. I'm going to give you a little cheat sheet just to help you out. And we're going to take a moment to identify something that represents our core values. So I'm going to put a sheet on the screen just to help you out here, just to give you a little bit of extra something. And I invite you all to take a moment and to look for something that represents your core values. All right, so take 60 seconds and look and see what you can find. Okay, so we'll do a little quick music interlude as you go around your house and look for something that represents your core values. All right, I'm gonna join us back. I hope you all got a chance. Now, if you didn't think of a core value right now and you're like, oh my gosh, my brain, I can't even imagine right now, it's okay. This goes to show that you want to take a little more time to take some work for yourself. And there's a whole extended activity that I would do, but I don't have time today. But what I will do is share something that I grabbed, and that is a pair of my fiance's shoes. And y'all are probably like, why do I have shoes? But for me, my core value is empathy. And so I always try to think about people's lives and how I can walk in the shoes of others and remember that sometimes we have this assumption or this idea about a person, but until we've walked a mile in their shoes, there's very little that we truly know about them. And so for me, I try to walk from a place of empathy in all that I do. So I'm curious, this is your chance to talk and share. So please do unmute and share what core value came to mind for you. I saw Dr. Lulu. Go ahead, Dr. Lulu. What core value came for you?
Mine is compassion. And I was actually thinking out loud. I was like, I wonder, what do I bring to show compassion? I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring myself, because that's what compassion is. And I love that you have empathy, because empathy is just one step below compassion. Compassion is just one step ahead. Like, I feel you, I'm walking in your shoes, and how can I help? And so I'm very happy that we're having this conversation. I was like, I'm just going to come as I am. And because that's, my heart is in my chest and I can't give it and show it, but I can make that sign. And love on you today.
Thank you so
I love
much.
your energy. I love your energy.
Thank you, Dr. Lulu. That's so beautifully said. I love it. She embodies compassion. It feels so good. I love it. What else do y'all got? Let's add some more to this list. Please do unmute. Thank you, Dr. Lulu.
All right, can I share mine?
Come on in, Dr. Stem.
So mine is faith. And you will see a poster like this here in my bathroom, in my kitchen, in my living room, spare bedrooms. Visitors come in and they're like, do you have this in every room? Yes, I do. And part of it is I even share it with all my clients that I work with, that there are things that we can control. There are things that we can control. And the great thing about it is knowing the difference between what you can and cannot control. And for me, putting God in between it, where I can say, God, grant me the serenity to know what I can and cannot control, and to be able to surrender those things that I can control. I think that's my core value. Thank you.
Oh, so beautifully said, Dr. Sim. Thank you for sharing. I love it, faith. What else? What I saw someone, Gillian said, honoring others. It's not much of what is in the house. It contains so many of the things my mom, my dad valued in the house, their books. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing in the chat, Gillian. Feel free to unmute.
Hi, I'd like to share.
Go ahead, Aneta. Anita, yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's Danika. So I agree with what Dr. Stem said, and I went actually upstairs to get my Bible, because faith is at the core. It's a huge part of me. And also, along with my faith, what's so tremendously important to me is my family. So God first, and then next is my family, and then just trying to do good in life to help others, empower and encourage, which is one of the reasons why I love Dr. Stem so much, is because I've witnessed her encouraging others, and she has definitely deposited good in me and encouraged me to be my best self. So for me, in summary, faith and family and encouragement. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. So beautiful, so beautifully said. Olu, I saw you were unmuted, so I want to go ahead and bring you into this as well.
Thank you. Like Anita, I was going to get my Bible downstairs, and then I saw this jotter and it says fearless. So I think it's in line with what I was speaking about, courage. And, fear is not actually a bad thing all the time, but regardless, even when I'm afraid, I still do it. And so this jotter, since I got it last month, it really means a lot to me, and only special things go written inside anyway. So that's mine.
I love it. Fearless, be fearless. I love that, Dr. Olu, soon to be doctor one day, I'm sure. I love it. Astrid, go ahead. I see you're unmuted.
Yeah, it's so awesome to be here. You ladies are all wonderful, and I love the energy and the inspiration you're spinning with all the different views about empowerment. It's so great. So one of my core values is joy. And it kind of includes everything that you ladies were saying. For me, that's it's been the source of life for me. Like in my cancer journey, like I chose joy at some point, and I literally felt like in every decision then I choose what allows me to live in joy, and then also be joy, and also inspire others through that. And of course, God's spirit flows through us when we walk in joy, because we're meant to walk in joy. That's where all the power comes from, the core and all of that. So joy is one of my core values. Yeah.
So beautifully said. Thank you so much, Astrid. I had all of you all take a moment to look at your values, because oftentimes we feel lost in the storm. I know I did, and I'm going to share a little bit about my story of how I felt really lost in the storm when this COVID thing hit. But one of the things I want y'all to know is that whenever we feel lost in the storm, we can always lean on our values. Those are our North Star in the process. And so my bounce back story goes a little like, I started a business. I launched this mental health and wellness retreat business, thinking that I was going to take people all over the world. I had my first retreat booked. Oh my gosh, we were set. We were going to Kenya. I said, by heck or high water, we are going to Kenya, because I worked so hard to get that first retreat booked, because I want to take women to take control of their lives, not to run from their problems, but to face their problems on this retreat experience. Well, guess what, everybody? The bookings were done by 2019, and the pandemic hit in 2020, and we lost everything. I had to start completely over. My entire business model crumbled. And I said, what am I going to do? I couldn't even give myself empathy, because I felt like a failure. What kind of leader am I not to have prepared for a pandemic? I should have known a pandemic was coming, but I didn't. And none of us did, right? Well, I decided to turn to virtual events, which hence my title, designing and doing things that just bring you joy, and businesses and events and all these things that we're all doing, whether they're for fun, for business, for causes. I decided to go virtual, and my life changed. Over 20, 30 companies later, I've worked with companies, thousands of women, individuals all around the world to bring virtual retreat experiences. So everything I was going to do in person, while we couldn't do it in person, I was able to bring it virtually. And here I am in 2021, bringing virtual experiences to the world. And I'm so grateful that Dr. Stem allowed me to lead it for you all. So the first thing I wanted to say is that you all identified your values. And so your values are going to guide you. So let's say that we're going to all make our own event. Let's say we all said, you know what? I want to do something. I want to do my own event. I love Dr. Stem's event. I want to do my own event today. So everybody take a moment, grab a piece of paper out, and write down some things that make your heart sing. So take a quick moment. What makes your heart sing? Because in my opinion, you cannot do any event or anything if it does not make your heart sing. So take a moment, write down a couple of topics or things or concepts, whatever that looks like, that make your heart sing, okay? So I'll give y'all a moment to do so. Feel free to comment in the chat what you come up with. Oh, I love it. I'm seeing your chat. All right. So it's a quick moment because I want you to go off of impulse. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. I see people talking about hugging, writing, kissing, love. Yes. Helping people achieve resilience in their business and talking on this topic. Gong bathing. Yes, a qualified sound therapist that use gongs. I love that, Gillian. I love that. Helping students overcome educational obstacles. Doggies, beautiful designs, dancing, inspiring, encouraging others, seeing people get strong. I wrote down mental health, wellness, purpose, dreaming big, overcoming fears. We all have things that make our hearts sing. And we have to be willing to acknowledge those because honestly speaking, there's no event that matters if it's not something that makes our hearts sing. There's no point in talking about something that does not make you excited. And I think that we've kind of got lost in this world, right? We feel like we have to just show up and do things because people said that we should do them. I went to school to become a veterinarian. I am nowhere near that. I mean, I'm about to become a therapist. I'm a wellness professional. I am nowhere near a veterinarian, but had I stayed on that path, thinking because I told everybody I was going to do that, I would not be able to do what actually makes my heart sing. So while you know what makes your heart sing, it's important whenever you want to put on an event or put together anything, you got to think about what is the vibe. So if you were to host an event, if you were to host something virtually and exciting like what we're doing right now, when y'all first were thinking about coming, y'all were feeling empowered. Y'all felt the anticipation. Y'all were ready to learn new information. If you were to host your event, what feeling would you want someone to feel before they come to the event? If they were looking at your advertising, would they want to feel zen? Would you want them to feel nervous or maybe, oh, what's going to happen? Would you want them to feel empowered? And then think about for the event vibe, what do you want the person to feel during the experience? Think about what you're feeling right now. So I saw some people said excitement, anticipation. So like now that you're here on this experience right now, what feelings are you feeling? What are you feeling? You're feeling inspired. You're feeling hopeful. Endless possibilities. Yeah. Right now, I feel free. I feel light. I feel excited. Yeah, I see excited. So when you think about these events, it's always it's an intuitive vision that we're trying to create here. Oftentimes, people are going to give you a step-by-step. Do this, do that, do this. But really what connects to people when you host events and when you do things for the world is how they feel. People don't remember all the logistics. They remember the stories and they remember how you made them feel in the process. So before you came today, you were probably like, I don't know, I just know I need something. Then you got here and you were like, yes, I got what I needed. Danika says something for everyone, empowered. And then when the person leaves, what do you want them to feel? Do you want them to feel a sense of peace, calm, hope? So whenever you're thinking about what you want to create, always think about that emotional journey before the event, during the event, and after the event. That is one of the keys that have made our retreat stand out from any other person that's hosted virtual events, is because we create an emotional experience for people. When you're designing your event, there's 3 keys that will make it so that you will win. No matter what you do virtually, you will win if you do these things. Number 1, entertain the senses. How can you make a person feel what you're talking about? Can they smell what you're talking about? Encourage them to light a candle. Encourage them to turn on a humidifier or the diffuser. Encourage them to get a snack. Ask them, invite them to enjoy their senses. Have an activity that involves chocolate so they can smell and taste and feel it. Entertain these senses. Allow them to feel, allow them to taste, smell, hear, see. Y'all saw today, y'all stimulated your sound, you stimulated your bodies, you saw. And now I encourage you to think about if you do smell anything in your house. Be aware. Encourage them to be grounded to the moment. Tune the energy. So remember, throughout events, a person cannot be all high. They have to have their zen moments like yoga flow. They have to have their low moments, like where we go into those dark places and discover difficult things. But we also need those high moments where they feel like, yes, I can do this. So when you're planning your events and when you're creating things virtually, think about the energy tuning model. There's an energy to begin, there's an energy throughout. It should be a roller coaster. If it's just one level of energy, the event will not be effective because the person cannot differentiate. It's kind of like, think about life, ladies. we have to have the bad to get the good, to enjoy the good, to truly savor the good. One example, we moved from Orlando, or from North Carolina to Orlando. We did not like North Carolina. We were wanting to leave so bad, and everything kept going wrong no matter how many times we tried to move. Finally, this past year, we were able to make the move, and we have never been happier. I appreciate Orlando like no other. But the thing is, had we not experienced the difficulties, the obstacles to get here, we probably couldn't have appreciated it like we do now. And we love it. Even though there's lots of people here that complain about being in Orlando, I'm never gonna complain about being in Orlando. I won't complain about the heat or nothing because I'm grateful. So you must tune the energy, allow the people to appreciate the highs and the lows of your experience. You want them to feel lows at points. Finally, surprise and delight. Y'all didn't know y'all would get up and go grabbing stuff around your house, did you? Y'all ain't know I was gonna send you to do that. That's what your events need to have. Always have a surprise and delight element on all events that you design and plan. People need to not know what they're getting into virtually, because everybody always has this assumption, I'm gonna sit on the screen, stare at somebody talk to me for hours, and then go home. But the goal is to surprise and delight. So if you can do something to throw them off, I've had people make phone calls on events virtually, send text messages, bring a friend into the room if there's someone in the room. You want to encourage a surprise and delight element on your events. A few other things I want to share. Of course, logistics are important. I call them all the A's. Address the logistics. What access do we need? What resources do you need to make this event happen? What would the agenda look like? You already probably know the agenda because you've created a flow, right? So you've created that, you've done that. What's the vibe? You've done that, tuning the energy. By you doing step 3, you are creating your agenda. You have your agenda, your assistants. Who needs to help you make it happen? Who do you need? When do they get there? When do they leave? How will you promote the event? So that's advertising, A for advertising. Who will you invite? How will they RSVP? That's a super important step in this process. Thank you, thank you. I love the chat, I'm seeing it. I'm loving that y'all are loving this information. This is to make it simple because anybody can do something like what we're doing today and make it their own. Step 5, promotion. There are a ton of places to promote your events. Eventbrite, meetup.com. There's all kinds of hosting platforms. There's even like newspapers and magazines that will share your events if you take the time to submit it early enough. Social media. The biggest thing though, remember the vibe. If your vibe is meant to be mysterious, make sure everything you're doing promoting is to create mysterious feel. So the feeling they feel before an event needs to represent that vibe. If you want the vibe to be zen and calm, make sure all your marketing materials, all your advertising represent zen and calm. Storytelling through that process, letting them know what will be the transformation they experience. Thank you so much, Nikki. Yes, the transformation, the event website, all those things are things they want to experience. So social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the EDIAs and AMs, all those. Event website. If you have a website that you can make for the actual event, that's great too, because you can always redirect people back to that website. Finally, word of mouth. If you're a good talker, talk to people. Go out there, invite them, welcome them. So tell people via phone, text, email. Those are all great word of mouth opportunities. And finally, I want to share, give it all y'all got. Give it all you got. Look, whether 5 people show up or 200 people show up, it is about the message. It is about the feeling. It is about what made your heart sing. Back to what made your heart sing when this all started. If you do something that makes your heart sing, it doesn't matter how many people show up. It doesn't matter what that looks like. All that matters is that they felt before, they felt during, and they felt after. And that is what I want you to remember. And final things I want y'all to know, your dreams count. Every single dream you have, I don't care how crazy you think it is. My idea of creating these blitz style, multi-modality retreat experiences was all an idea. I thought it'd be cool to have different wellness modalities in one virtual space. People thought I was crazy, but I have changed the way that we do mental health and wellness. I've made it accessible. I've made it dynamic, and people appreciate that they can do so many things on my retreats with my team. Bottom line, showing up is a big part of it all. There have been times I've showed up to host little events and no one showed up. I cried, y'all. I went to, it was a restaurant. I was hosting a meetup and nobody showed up and I cried in my car. But there are days where I turned around and hosted events and hundreds showed up. Or 10 showed up. But every time I go, and I know that these all create stories that I can help inspire other people with every day and every moment. And finally, connection matters. If you're connecting with people, no matter what you do, you will always win, always. So stay connected. Know that it's about feeling what other people are experiencing. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed my little throw of information. It was so many things I threw your way. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you will put together your own event, your own virtual experience, whether it's a birthday party, whether it's for a cause that you care about, whether it's a presentation you want to give, whether it's sharing your life story. Take the time and do what makes your heart sing, and you will always win. So thank you, everyone. All right. Thank y'all so much. I hope this was helpful. I will be placing those slides in the chat just to ensure that you can have access. I hope that you do amazing things in the world. I have a few minutes, so I want to allow us to do one final activity as we roll into Astrid, because we're literally about done today. Isn't that insane? The day is almost over. It's insane. And so with that being said, I want y'all to take a moment, get a piece of paper out, one good piece of paper out. Thank you. I see the love in the chat. Oh, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. What we're going to do here is we're going to write our intention for 2022. So a lot of things have happened in 2021. We've lost, we've got a resurgence of the pandemic. We have seen a lot of loss for others. We have lost in our business, our financials were gained. So many things have happened. I've seen a roller coaster in my own life. I know you all have as well. Right now, I want you to take a moment and I want you to write down what is one thing that you hope to see in your 2020, one intention that you want to set for yourself. So take a moment and write down that intention, okay? So I'll give y'all a moment. One thing. So I don't give you a ton of time because I want to trust your gut impulse. So I wrote down to feel freedom inside and out, to go with the flow and to live with the unexpected. I'm one of those people that sometimes I'm like, oh, I have to have this planned out, but I just want to live. I just want to enjoy the freedom. I want to just remember to be in my body and enjoy life. What is y'all's intentions? Feel free if anyone wants to take a quick moment to unmute or put it in the chat. What intention did you write down for 2022?
I put take my work in resilience far and wide, in the sense of taking it further than just business and take it wide geographically, but because it would make my heart sing and I'd be happy and joyful and I'd be skipping along and happy.
I love that, Gillian. Yes.
I didn't write all of that down. I only wrote the first bit down.
No, that's so good though.
I should have done a picture of me skipping along, shouldn't I?
See, that's so good. And the fact that you added make your heart sing, I hope you love that and keep making your heart sing. Beautiful. What else y'all got? Anybody else? One more person want to share? Yes, I see. Shift from fear to freedom and to help others do the same. Be free and fearless from Dr. Stim. And Danika says, trust my gut. Oh, that's so beautifully said. Well, ladies, go ahead, Anita, go ahead.
I was just going to say in 2022, I want to put the past in the past and live for the future and enjoy the time that's happening in the moment.
I love that. Beautifully said. Every step of the way, we will enjoy the future. We will just let the past be the past. And that's one of the biggest things I tell my therapy clients. We have to move forward from the past in order to really create a future of freedom. Shame. We don't live in shame. We don't live with shame. We may have guilt, we may work through guilt, but we don't live in shame. You are not bad. You are not worthless. You are always worthy. No matter what mistakes you've made, you get a chance to create a new life and a new future. And I hope you all know that even throughout your experiences this 2021. Ladies, I hope you feel inspired. I'm going to turn over to our last and final presenter today, Miss Astrid. I'm so happy to have you. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to share a little bit about her. Astrid Mueller is a multifaceted creative brand strategist and an intuitive business guide. She helps people recharge their batteries, connect with their heart, and spark their dream lives. Astrid is a breast cancer thriver. I don't see no survivor. I see thriver, which I love. And she has been healing with tremendous resilience and sparkle, which she cultivates through her creativity, curiosity, and joy, among other magical self-empowerment ingredients. She wrote the book called Permission to Sparkle and designed a fun and intuitive card game. Play with her and turn up the magic you want in your own life. Without further ado, I present the sparkling, the gorgeous, the beautiful Astrid.
You're such a great presenter. Thank you so much, Sabriya. And thank you everyone for being here. In the name of yourself, I'm so excited to be part of this and to be able to be a spark in this presentation. And my intention for you all is now to help you take that spark and actually make it a thing for 2022. And so, hang on one second, I got a message here. Okay, perfect. No, it's all good. It asked me to unmute myself and I already did that. Okay, so Sabriya, you don't know that, but you had the perfect segue for what I wanted to start with, because my first small moment before we get creative and use some coloring pens, colors that you have, and a piece of paper, I actually want to also ask you a question, and that was what you already started. It is, what would you like to see in 2022? And so what you wrote down already, see if you want to make that more specific. What do you truly want? And I'm just giving you a quick inspiration here. What it can be something, whatever your heart says to you right now to make your life more sparkly. Is there something in your life that really comes out? Like, it could be like a relationship, it could be something in business, or it could be like a whole different life experience. Maybe you'd like more space in your business, more joy, whatever it is. Allow that to come up and perhaps add that to what you wrote to the intention already. And as you become more present with this for yourself, with this desire of how you'd like to make your life more sparkly, ask yourself, how do you want to feel when this is happening? What is your joy experience that you'd like to call in? And see if you can have like 1 to 3 words that you want to, that really come up for you to experience. And those can be guiding words for you for your whole year. It's going to be really awesome if you want to keep them with you. So choose feel-good words, and you can then always come back to them at any moment, which is one thing that I have done with the word joy. This one word, it has literally changed my life. Last winter, at some point in my cancer healing journey, where I was also facing all kinds of challenges, it was a lot coming together. It wasn't just my cancer healing, it was being in a new city, not having my normal friend support network, recently having been divorced, COVID, in the middle of chemo, did I already say that? Not feeling great, also being in the middle of a business sabbatical / reboot, and really focusing on my inner growth and thinking like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? And like, what do I need to tweak? And doing a lot of mindset work. And at some point I realized that I can either choose to focus on those things, or I can choose joy. And I realized I needed to and wanted to choose joy because it literally is healing energy. And when I started choosing that in everything that I did, I transformed my life by simply asking that question, what makes me feel joy in every moment? And it was, you know, like even extreme examples of like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling really terrible right now. I can't do anything in chemo, you know, like sometimes you had moments like that. And maybe the answer was simply like lay on the bed, open the window and get some fresh air. And then that brought me joy, you know? So those words are super powerful. So choose the words or the word that you want to feel. And that can be an amazing guiding image. So that being said, I have a creative prompt for you. And take an actual piece of paper, separate piece of paper, and this is blank right now. So we're going to do something fun real quick. Fold it in half. And it's going to be looking like this. And then on both sides, we're going to fold it back down. So it's going to look like this, where you have a middle that is a middle crease. So you folded it once like this, and now you take the top and you fold the top down just a little bit. It doesn't matter where exactly. You just make kind of, you fold it back down again. Let's do this so I can show this to you. So I folded down once, and then you do the same thing on the other side. Like this. So basically, you went from this half to like down a little bit here. I hope this makes sense. And the same thing on the other side. You end up with this kind of M shape. Okay. Does everybody have that? Okay, perfect. Not rocket science. Cool. So now we have two sides that we can get creative with. And I want you to look at the right side. You flip it over. If the paper is open, like take the right side and work with this one. This is the side of where we're going to do a quick creative project of what you want to experience. And so you can write on top, I am experiencing in present tense, and then whatever it is you chose. And make it short and sweet. And then you can add to it and feeling your words that you chose. And feeling, so basically I'm writing this on the top of the page. I am experiencing my desire. You fill that in and feeling the words. And then take a super quick intuitive moment of creativity. So pick colors that represent this energy to you of this already happening. And we're going to doodle real quick. So you could either consciously pick colors or even close your eyes and pick colors. I love to play with intuition and simply close my eyes and see what comes up. I'm going to pick 3 colors, and I'm going to do a quick doodle with that. So we're tuning into that and having fun. So I have 3 colors right here. And then we're gonna simply do a little expressive drawing here that expresses our emotion of this already happening. So have fun. Oh my goodness, this is cool. The color, and I'm doing this with you as I am speaking. When I pick the colors blindly, the fun thing is then you can ask yourself afterward, whoa, what does this color typically mean to me? And you can surprise and delight yourself. Like we heard earlier from Sabriya, of like, oh, the universe is giving me signs. It's so much fun to use art intuitively that way, and to allow ourselves to get universe signs from, oh, this color came to me and it had a message to me, because that color always means joy to me, for example, right? So showing to you, because we're running on short time, which is perfect, which shows you don't have to be an artist to do this, and it can be super powerful even really quickly. So without much thinking, I just doodled this with 3 colors, and it already feels really powerful for me. So you can, of course, spend more time with yours, and you get to, but we'll actually have more that we're doing in this. So just really quickly, I'll tell you like how this can be powerful for me and for you with your drawing. Is like, after you can sit with this drawing, say like, oh my goodness, what did I doodle, and what does each color represent for me? And then you can be curious, what does this mean to me, and how does it make me feel? And it can be a powerful guiding image for you to represent your desire already happening. So just be curious and allow that to sink in for yourself. So for me, for example, purple stands for spirituality and spirit, and that this showed up blindly at the center is like really powerful to me. Yeah, so okay, so I'll leave you with this in a curiosity, and we maybe we'll have a super quick moment for share. I'm not sure if we'll have enough time, but I want to make sure that you get the full creative project. So now that we have your desire for this coming year on the right side, let's flip it back to where we're at right now. So the total other side, flipping it over on this big blank page. This will be where you are right now. So just right now on the top. And so this can be a space to express yourself, like where you're at right now and what is not happening, you know, like the contrast of like, so you can pick, do a quick creative project for this, or write for yourself like, oh, I'm missing this, or like, oh, this hurts, or this sucks. You know, that's like really express where you're at. And it can, of course, also have the gratitude piece, but there obviously is a place you want to get from here to another place. So be really honest with yourself of where you're at, and express that either with words or with colors or both. And it can also be like a really powerful expression of you know, wildly using colors. Like you see, I'm using oil pastels here, and just really boldly drawing, kind of like in kindergarten, you know, and it can be very cathartic of expressing our emotions that are also not always like, you know, sometimes you have anger or whatever, like letting them out is super healing and expressive. So just putting that on paper of where you're at now, doing that for just a moment. I'll give just a moment of space for this. And tune into what doesn't feel good for you right now, like what does not feel so sparkly right now. And then I'll have a last bit. And I know we're on top of the hour almost. Can I have like 5 more minutes or 4 more minutes, Sabriya? Okay, perfect. Want to make sure people have enough time to reflect on this. Okay. So again, you can stay curious with this project when we get off the call. This can be a super cool catalyst for you actually to step into 2022. Even over the next few days, you might get more wisdom as you stay present with these drawings. So what you have now, you have like the now, and you have your desire for 22, what you want to experience. And now we have this really cool crease in the middle. So here's a thing that we haven't fully achieved yet, right? And we want to manifest it like this M. So in the middle, what I have a few questions for you that you can play with. And the biggest question here is, what does it take for me to allow and create this 2022 experience? And this is a curiosity prompt, and you can write that on top as well. What does it take for me to allow and create this 2022 that is on the right side? And then be curious what comes to you. I'm going to write that here myself real quick. What does it take to allow, for me to allow and create this? And here you might already have gotten some powerful answers. Examples I'm going to give you to springboard your mind. It can be, it might take accessing some superpowers of yours that you already have, like some inner courage, simply deciding to do it. We heard some powerful things already today, right? It might mean letting go of a certain belief where you thought you can't do it. We had powerful conversation of like from a third world country, like launching amazing business and anything is possible, right? So might you have to let go a mindset or an old story of you don't deserve, or you're dreaming too big, you want too much money, whatever it is. What do you need to let go in order to allow this to happen? And then you can also, if you want, you can also get creative in that. For me, I did one yesterday for myself, where I actually, for me, what it takes to manifest my desire in the middle is joy energy as like one of the really powerful ones. And for me, if I stand in that in everything I do, joy gives me courage, joy gives me creativity, creativity creates joy, all those things, right? So that helps me go through any challenge and manifest this, no matter how impossible it might seem. And so you can stay curious with that. And the cool thing is, when you do that, any obstacles that seem like a gap right now, here's this cool metaphor with this drawing, you can put it together and then you see it can happen right now. It's like so super fun. And like, so it's magical, it's manifesting, it can happen right now. So the only thing that's in the middle is our own, anything that where we don't allow ourselves the support, or we don't believe in ourselves, whatever. So this is a beautiful playground for us without judgment, right? It's like we're all growing. It's the whole premise of my book too, The Permission to Sparkle, where it's an adventure. So, and this is our adventure in the middle where we get to grow, which is a really, really powerful, awesome thing. So, so that being said, from here, stay curious what your inspired action is, but asking your heart of taking a first step towards your desire of making this happen, because that will be the thing to get the ball rolling. So you get a lot of wisdom, and now will be to like, oh, what is my first inspired action to do this? And sometimes it's making a phone call, sometimes it's taking a nap, going for a walk, or sending an email, whatever it is, whatever your heart tells you, take those inspired actions and they get the ball rolling. And whenever you get stuck in the crease, you can come ask that question again and play with this again. So yeah, so that's my inspired play prompt for you guys to get in motion and get rolling towards your desires for 2022. Yeah, does anybody have questions or feedback, or you want to share about this? Yeah, brilliant idea. The difference folding a piece make. Yeah, that was funny. That was like an inspired thing that came to me yesterday when I tuned into what to do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Astrid. That was so beautiful. I'm actually going to allow y'all to get a chance to share this in a quick breakout opportunity as we will be rolling into that opportunity right now. So I'm going to give you all just a few moments to reflect on what you did today. Astrid, Gillian, Olu, myself, Dr. Stem, just everybody brought in such amazing presentation this day. Danika, and it was just such an honor to hear from so many beautiful voices and beautiful hearts. And so I want to all give you one moment just to sit in a breakout group for a minute to just talk with the people that you attended with today about something that you learned from this experience today. You know, what is something you'll do different? What is something how will you show up in 2022? I'm going to put these questions in the chat. You choose what question works for you. And we're going to allow for a quick breakout opportunity. And when we return, I will turn over to Dr. Stem to wrap up today's event. And so with that being said, enjoy just some small breakouts to discuss your experience today. It'll take about 6 minutes or so. We won't spend all day. We'll just give a moment to share and then we'll come back. All right, have fun. All right, let's see. We got people joining the breakouts. Perfect, perfect. And I'm going to go explore the breakout rooms to see how things go.
Unknown surprises. You know.
What's it like?
Unknown surprises.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's just black and it's just
Hey.
Hey, I don't think the other two ladies are here.
Oh, it looks like I can't hear you, Gillian. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't think the other two people are here because I can't hear them. They're not responding at all.
Okay, I'll move you to a different room here.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that reflective opportunity to wrap up for today. It was a quick reflection, but it was a chance for us to just bring everything home. And without further ado, I want to present the final wrap up with Dr. Stem to share the final words. It looks like we're going to end a little early today, which is always never a bad thing. And so I will allow Dr. Stem to share the final words today.
awesome. I wish I had my voice. This has been beyond phenomenal. So you know what, Sabriya, you were born to do this. I loved your energy. I loved your energy. I loved each and every one of our speakers today. I mean, we were just in a group right now where I was talking to Gillian, and you know, I had Astrid in there as well, and we were saying Nothing happens without the coordination of, higher power, spirit. It's supposed to have happened the way that it happened today. And it was beyond perfect because everyone who spoke, everything was just linking. But believe it or not, we never had an opportunity where we practiced this and we heard each other speak so that everything can be so intertwined. But it just went, perfectly. So for all of you that attended today and those of you that will be listening, I want to thank you for taking your time to attend the second annual Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. I think, you know what, here's the thing. We just heard from Astrid, right? She just did the last exercise with us. So if you were not, on this here, rewind before, my speech that I'm doing right now, and you will hear her doing an exercise with us of what our intentions for 2022 are. So here's what I want to do. I would like to ask you a quick question. What is the one word that will help you allow yourself to be creative, to be open, so that you can manifest what you wrote down and more in 2022? Get your piece of paper where you wrote it out, just one word that comes to mind that will help you. That's that one word that you will take into 2022. And that one word will remind you that you're on a mission, that this 2022, you promised yourself today on the 18th of December that you want to do the one thing that you wrote down during this Empowerment Academy. I'll give you a minute to do that. And my minute is real quick. All right, there we go. Thank you. And if you can, please write in the chat, or if you're watching this live, write in the comments, one word, just that one powerful word that is going to encourage you, inspire you, empower you to say, I cannot stay down. I have to get back up. I cannot fall back. I have to stand back up. What is that one word? Let me tell you how the universe works. I had my one word prepared for my, closing speech. And I heard Astrid repeat that word over and over and over again. So I knew that that one word is that one word that I'm supposed to share with you. And that one word is believe. The one word believe is the one word that I want to leave with you as we close out this second year of our Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. I want you to believe in your own uniqueness. I want you to believe that you can. I want you to believe that it can happen to you, for you as well. I don't know what your it is. You know what your it is. If you haven't written down your it, it's time that you write down your it. For those of you that are believers, we say you have not because you ask not. It also says ask and you shall receive. If you don't ask and year after year, you come back and say, you know what? This year has not even been a good year for me. I don't know. Things just didn't work out for me. My question to you is, what did you have written down? What did you ask for 2021? Could it be because you didn't have anything that you were desiring for, that you asked for, and hence the reason why you didn't have what you wanted? Write it down and believe that it can happen for you. Believe in the difference that you can make in somebody else's life. We all have the gift. Whether you know it or not, there's something that is within you, there's something that you have that will make a difference in somebody else's life. So do not shun away. Do not stay back. Give of yourself 100 at all times, because there's one person or more than one person that is learning from you, that is gaining from you, that maybe might not even say to you, but they will. And they are watching and listening to you. I'm telling you, as I was preparing this morning, I spoke to my mom, who's here online with us this morning. And she called me and said, I want to wish you good luck. I said, oh, thank you, mommy. She says, oh, I also want to tell you, there's a lady in Canada who's a friend of mine that called me and said, can you please say thank you to your daughter, because she's putting out videos, online that are saying shifting from fear to freedom in 2022 and beyond. I'm being blessed and encouraged by those videos. Do you know how many people like or make a comment on those videos? Sometimes one, many a time zero. Not one person is making a comment. So I have no idea if anyone is being encouraged, empowered, inspired by those videos. But that one comment today gave me so much hope, encouragement. It gave me so much excitement that I know that somewhere in Canada, one lady is looking forward to having those videos coming out and listening to those videos and audios that I'm putting out. Even without a voice, I recorded something today to make it day 18. I committed myself that for the 31 days in December, I will put out a video and I'll put out an audio just to encourage somebody, empower someone, inspire someone to say 2022, please commit that no fear will get in your way. You have to shift from fear to freedom. How are you going to do it? Don't worry about that. You just make a commitment that I'm going to shift from fear to freedom. So believe in those people whose hearts are in the right place. If one person hurt you, if one person deceived you, do not rule out the whole world. There are people out there that are, whose heart are in the right place, that will help hold your hand, that will help you with that one question that you have, that will uplift you, encourage you. Find that community, find that one person, but do not judge everyone based on those that did you wrong. Believe in the impossible. Believe in the dreams. You heard from the testimonies that we had today, that it is possible to move from the impossible to possible. It is possible to move from the darkness into the light without even seeing how you're going to get it. Believe in your own inner strength and inner courage. And I'm going to say this one here, and many of you are going to say, what? Believe in your fears. Because beyond your fears is everything that you're asking for and everything that you ever wanted. So believe in it. When you get scared, when you're afraid to do something, believe in that and work towards going beyond that, because that's where your joy is. That's where your excitement is. That's where everything that you're looking forward is. And this one too always raises eyebrows. Believe in your failures, because in falling down is when we pick up and gain more strength. You are a different person today because of your failures. Many of our speakers today, in one way or another, let us know that they were not always this good. They were not always this fluent. They were not always this, knowledgeable of what they talk to us about today. Even our corporate sponsor, Project Passport, Sabriya, who led us today, said I was not always the one that believed in myself and knew that I could do this, but I had to get out of my comfort zone and the plans that I had, and I had to do it different. And wow, what an amazing presentation, right? Let's give Sabriya a hand, because she was one of the best that I have seen out there. And I know that, you know what, as of now, I told her, when we were doing this, I text messaged her, I said, listen, I am not going to be worrying about coordinating the Empowerment Academy, because I am going to make sure that I contract with Project Passport to do this for me, because you guys are good. You got, the people in places. I will choose most of the speakers because then I have different themes, but working with her was so easy and so smooth because then, I mean, it's like, what do you want? How can we do this year? And it just, I had, you know, nights where I could sleep this time around, and I sat back this time around and I didn't have to worry about this not going well because I knew it was going to go just as good as it is. So as you go into 2022, may your dreams come true. May you know that whatever it is that is instilled in your heart, it's not impossible and it's not crazy. Only crazy if you talk to the wrong person or the wrong people that do not understand the power of dreams and the power of visions. So choose the people that you speak to. And then remember, it's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you handle what happens to you that matters. Why did I say that? Everything that we have talked about today will help you move the needle to the next step into 2022. It will help you, move your vision to the next level next year. Next year, I truly, I hope Sabriya is listening to this part here. I truly want us to have a whole, maybe half an hour where we have people that are just testifying about how they bounce back this 2022, 2021 and 2022, or even the rest of their lives, because now they are able to speak up and say that. Yes, we have the professional speakers, but I want to encourage and empower all of you to prepare your speeches. So as you go through 2022, have the bounce back at the back of your mind and say, what am I going to tell those ladies about my year this year? Create the moments, create the experiences, and please share those with us next year. Until then, God bless you, God be with you. And I hope that we will meet again, not just at the end of the year, but throughout the year as we do more self-care workshops and success workshops in the Empowerment Academy. And Sabriya created this free handbook. It's a PDF handbook that has all our contacts. It has some freebies in there. Please make sure that you download it. Or if you don't have it, wherever you are connected with me, inbox me, email me, and I will be sharing that with all of you. It's a freebie that you can get in touch with every speaker that was here today. Thank you again. Thank you. And I honor and appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sim. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bounce back.